The following is a presentation of the United Wrestling Network.
Welcome to Championship Wrestling, presented by West Coast Pro Wrestling. I am Bimbo Jimbo Kincaid, coming to you yet again out of my home here in San Francisco. And as we have now flipped the calendar over into June, I do think it's important to take a moment and just recognize the encouraging signs. A plan has been rolled out for return of some of the things that we've so desperately been missing here during this pandemic. I, for one, already opted for the in-home haircut and shave that was so desperately needed. But I am truly encouraged by the signs that we are seeing now. And one of the many things that I've learned during this time is just how important entertainment is to all of us, which is why it has been my great honor and will continue to be to help provide that source of entertainment to all of you wrestling fans through Championship Wrestling. And that's exactly what we're going to continue to do right here today as we go back into the archives and we head back to the Percy Pringle III Cup tournament. The Neon Phenomenon Anthony Idol will be taking on Uptown Andy Brown. And in our main event, the United Wrestling Network Television Championship will be on the line. Reigning champion Dan Joseph defends against my broadcast partner, Timeless Levi Shapiro. Will the Timeless one be able to get some gold around his waist? You're going to have to wait and see. This is Championship Wrestling, so sit back, relax, and enjoy.
The following contest is a six-man tag team match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, the team of Steven Tresario, Keita Murray, and Mikey O'Shea.
Set for action on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Strange alliance here, as last time we saw these three unique individuals, they were battling it out in a triple threat match. Now they'll have to team up.
They have to get along, absolutely essential. Let's see how Mikey fares well with these two, considering he just beat the tar out of him a few short weeks ago.
And introducing their opponents, being come to the ring by Kid Isaac, the team of Super Beetle and Sweet Robin Shaw, the Friendship Farm, and Frankie Frank.
Boo! Boo! Oh, get over yourself, Jacek.
Terrible, absolute terrible atrocities, Kennelly.
How can you be in a bad mood when these three come out? What a cavalcade of characters we've got.
What a catastrophe of characters is what you mean, Kennelly. This is ridiculous. It's a mockery. Oh my goodness, Shaw's gonna break the ring.
Friendship Farm, along with that man, Frankie Frank, who made his way into the PP3 tournament. Had an excellent showing in the quarterfinals. Not able to advance to the semis, but impressive nonetheless. Six-man tag team action.
You know, this is very unique, Kennelly, because we have on both sides, we have this sort of dissension in the ranks of both sides. Mikey Callahan has to come in there and do everything he can to make sure that he teams well with these people that he just beat up a short time ago. And it's obvious that Robin Shaw and Super Beetle absolutely hate each other. Let's see how well they do tonight as well.
Well, what a heavyweight showdown, super heavyweight showdown we have here. Mikey O'Shea in there with Sweet Robin Shaw. It's wrestling cliche, but I think I can truly say I hope the ring has been specially reinforced. But now there you see the dissension. O'Shea wanted to lock up with Shaw, but Tresario, who got the victory, who was opportunistic in that triple threat matchup, tags himself in.
Very, very bad idea. Already making the big man angry. You don't do that. That's, you saw what happened last time you did that with Mikey. You don't do that with someone like Mikey, especially when you're going against a man like Shaw. But now Frankie Frank is in there with his tie, his clip-on tie, or whatever that is. Again, now, I keep on saying it's an illegal foreign object, Kennelly.
Well, Frankie's got some rhythm, too. He's been hitting the lounge in every town, has Frankie Frank. And, of course, Steven Tresario, the twitching time bomb, as he's known.
Frankie Frank needs to be hitting the gym. That's what he needs to be hitting, that pudding belly.
Big shot there by Tresario in the early going. First pinfall or submission will score the win in this. Tresario was in last year's PP3 tournament. Frankie Frank qualifying this year. So interesting matchup here in the thick of PP3 season. Scoop and a slam by Tresario. Follows up nicely with the elbow drop.
Well, I got to give it to Tresario.
Here's the cover.
He was definitely foolish to tag himself in there, but it looks like he's holding his own against Frankie Frank. With a mentor like Mikey, you never know what direction you could possibly go. Mikey may be able to lead this young man to victory tonight.
Working over the arm now is Tresario, tripling up on that arm wringer. Looking to send him in, but nice agility there by Frankie Frank. He can hit the high note and he can hit the quick pace as well. Drop kick. Frankie Frank takes down Tresario. Looking to press the offense. Tag made to the big man. Sound strategy here, get the big guy in there to do some damage.
Absolutely, but the only problem is Robin Chaucy, he just got the tag and he's already winded, he's already gassed. You can tell he's already out of breath. He's got to tag himself out.
I disagree.
Look at him, he's reaching for donuts. He's like, where are the donuts?
He's rocked from the jawbreaker, the follow-up drop kick. The big man's rocking and reeling, but would not go down.
All that now being tagged in. You never see, Loud, this is not very good position for Robin Shaw to be in. You have an absolute fresh person in there. Robin Shaw has wrestled for about 30 seconds. That's like 4 minutes for a regular person.
Keita Murray runs right into that big scoop slam, and he got dropped with authority. And I don't think Murray's going to be all that. He might be an oil slick on the canvas here if he is the recipient of more of this offense. Look out. Keita Murray, a change in demeanor. He used to be fun-loving, say he was all that colorful, but then he, lost in a qualifying matchup for the PP3 by throwing his opponent over the top rope, and a little bit more of serious demeanor, but nothing serious about this.
Oh, Murray's an idiot, okay? Everybody here knows the rules. They know exactly what you're supposed to do, and now you don't take advantage.
The cover
over your opponent and throw them over the top rope. It's a very, very dangerous move. Murray has absolutely no respect for people's safety. That's exactly why he's there. Thank God he's not all that in a bag of chips. Otherwise, Robin Shaw would have been flattening him out.
Mikey O'Shea recently erupted back on the scene in that triple threat match we spoke of, and he was dominant throughout. Was not instrumental in the final pinfall of that. Watch out, though, for Keita Murray. Perched. I don't think O'Shea saw him. He does now. Oh, that ends badly, though, for Super Beetle. Eats the big slam. Near fall.
Very, very smart. But look at Mikey right now. He said, you could have hurt me. And look at the disrespect by Tresario. Already, again, disrespecting Mikey. And you can see it in Mikey's eyes. He's a little bit aggravated by his teammates right now.
Well, it worked out because of the strength of O'Shea. The drop kick by Keita Murray into the slam. Now Tresario in control. This wild matchup continues after this. Will you stop?
Has your AC busted, computer crashed, appliance broken? Then you need ARW, American Residential Warranty.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty. Home appliance repairs and replacement can cause stress and cost you over $3,000 per year. But ARW has home warranty plans starting at less than $1 a day.
My air conditioning broke on a Sunday. It was so hot. I called ARW and they came out and fixed it right away.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more. All plans are fully customizable and come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get a home security system free with any plan. Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
Call to find out which home warranty plan is right for you.
Health Markets compares your current plan with thousands of options nationwide from national insurance companies. With so many changes to health insurance plans, are you still sure you have the right fit?
That's why I love Health Markets, your insurance marketplace. They guarantee you won't find a lower price anywhere for the plans they offer.
Their new Fit Score instantly compares thousands of plans, both on the government exchange and off, to find the one that best fits your insurance needs. In minutes, you can find out if your current plan is the right fit, or if there's another one that can get you extra coverage or help save you money. Best of all, their service is completely free. You may even qualify for free health insurance with no monthly premiums. The Health Markets Fit Score makes it easy to find the right plan for you. For this free service, call right now.
Your insurance marketplace, Health Markets. Call Health Markets today at 1-800-207-1241. That's 1-800-207-1241.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Diabetics understand all too well the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can immediately reduce your pain. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now.
Welcome back, everyone, to Championship Wrestling. Throughout the break, grinding offense by Steven Tresario. He has maintained the advantage for his team. You talked about dissension. There was some dissension before the break. Inzaguri, though, oh, he's not going to be able to snap himself out of this one. But he makes the tag to Keita Murray. Likewise, tag made to Frankie Frank. Two freshmen in this wild six-man tag team affair.
And Frankie Frank has a ball of fire inside his heart right now, going right after Murray with that triple shot clotheslines there. But Murray capitalizes with a jawbreaker and a nice little kick for good measure. Keep the change, Frankie Frank. You're out of here.
Great series of offense. Oh, what a flying knee. Spinning him round and round, helicopter him with the knee into the cover, almost puts him away. What a strike. Frankie Frank didn't know which way was up after that.
You know, Keita Murray is an absolute beast in there. I didn't have a lot of opportunity to see much of that offense when he was going against Mikey, but now that he's on Mikey's side, he's definitely pushing in that aggression that he should have had earlier on with Mikey on the offensive side. But look at the face there. You can still tell they're angry at each other. They're forcing each other's tags in. They're not working together. This is dependable right now. They have to absolutely capitalize on this and work as a team. And that's what they're doing, Kennelly. This might be over right now.
Well, dissension may be as O'Shea goes for the cover here. They did pull off a double team maneuver despite their best efforts.
Well, you know what? They might be finally starting to get along, and that's very pivotal. You absolutely have to get along with your teammates in order to win a match. It's a tag team match. You can't just go in there and go into business for yourself. That was absolute nasty. Frankie Frank, you might want to take that tie off and tie it around those nipples because they might be gone after that. Oh, and a second one for good measure. God bless America, Kennelly.
O'Shea, one of the heaviest hitters in the history of this program. He's had some wars in the past. Great to see him back here in the bright lights of Hollywood. Mikey O'Shea, he gets that big body moving. He can go 0 to painful in a hurry as Frankie Frank is finding out the hard way. I don't think Frankie Frank's going to come back for an encore performance after this. Release, snap suplex there by O'Shea. Looking to put him away is the big man. Here's the cover. Frankie Frank finds a way to kick out.
And it says a lot about a man's strength when he goes to suplex you. He doesn't even need to hold on to put you all the way over. Mikey is literally just throwing Frankie Frank clear across the ring right now, stalking his prey. And you're right, he's a very big man, but he's quick and he's agile. And once he gets that big body moving, it is bad news for the recipient.
But don't sleep on the power of these strikes by Frankie Frank. He's a big competitor as well. Well, one of the oldest tricks in the book. Maybe he learned that from the Scrap Daddy, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce in their battles back in the day. Well, and maybe a little bit more of Scrap Iron here. Is he thinking pile driver, I thought, but the momentum takes Frankie Frank over the top. Backstabber there.
That's a lot of weight, too, to fall on your back there, Kennelly. That could be very, very dangerous for Mikey. Mikey needs to go out and get that tag, go into his party, get Tresario or Murray out there, get him in there, get the fresh man in there to take advantage of Frankie Frank, but he doesn't want to do it. Look at him. Oh, my goodness. Did you see that, Kennelly?
Begrudgingly, in a way, makes the tag, and that brings in Sweet Robin Shaw, who's fresh. He's got that big Friendship Express running and rolling down the tracks. Choo-choo indeed, chewing up the competition.
And you know, the thing about Shaw is he could just turn around. He could already be in the other corner. It's a very dangerous man to be.
Oh, look at this. Wow, double body slam by Frankie Frank and Super Beetle dropping the leg. And they're pretty happy with their efforts, but I gotta ask you this, Jessica. Who's the legal man in this thing at this point?
I've lost all control. Absolutely, have absolutely no idea what's going on, and neither does Shaw now with those two kicks. Mikey coming in to finish him off.
My, what a body slam by O'Shea. Shades of the Silver Dome.
Oh, but look, nobody can make a pin. Nobody can capitalize because they're all arguing over who's going to pin O'Shaw here.
Doesn't get it done. Kick out by Sweet Robin Shaw. After this team couldn't get on the same page, but I got to imagine that Tresario was the legal man. He was allowed to go for the cover. O'Shea has had enough.
O'Shea might be out of here. He might be walking away. Look at him.
Yeah, Mikey.
Oh, look, Murray now is out.
Oh, man, Mikey doesn't like it, and neither does Keita Murray, leaving Tresario all by his lonesome. He might snap indeed here. Look at this. Wrist control there by Frankie Frank. Oh, looking for a little double team action here.
Oh, Shaw couldn't quite get a hold of that, but that was good.
Caught him with the bug juice. All that body weight down, and they pick up the win.
Here are your winners, Frankie Frank and the Friendship Farm.
Bug juice there as we look back at the action, brought to you by the PP3 Blockbuster. You can see it live February 23rd, Ocean View Pavilion. Let's take a look back at the action and how it all ended. Friendship Farm hits that new double team finishing maneuver. The bug juice squashed Tresario like a bug for the 1-2-3. David Marquez standing by.
Okay, Todd, thank you very much. Standing by here with the Friendship Farm. Frankie Frank Friendship Farm. You know, you've had big success as of late. Why don't you tell the people about this newfound confidence?
I just had to keep working hard. After that match I had with Ray, yes, you know, everybody was against me that time, and I believe that. But after that match, I got everybody behind my back. And you know what? The band was just tuning up right now, but we're ready for 2020. This year is gonna be Frankie Frank year.
All right, friends, Frankie Frank says this is his year, and we'll be back with more PP3 semifinals action.
If you're like 58% of Americans, you never went to college. Or you did, but never finished. Why?
It was just a hassle going back and forth to campus.
At Independence University, all classes are online. No driving to campus.
No one at the college even knew my name.
At Independence U, you'll get a personal support team, and they'll all know your name.
Too many extra costs, like books, fees, parking.
We don't have extra costs. We even give you a new laptop and tablet to keep when you graduate.
I couldn't fit my schedule around classes.
At Independence U, college fits your schedule.
4+ years to get a degree?
With us, you could finish in 3.
At a typical college, no one cares.
Caring about students is what we do best.
Independence University held my hand through the process.
Don't be afraid to take the leap because it has changed my life drastically. If I did it, you can do it too.
Independence U is designed for busy adults like you.
1-800-280-4118. 1-800-280-4118.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by attorney Robert Goldwater. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting a physician.
Attention, the heartburn medication Zantac has been linked to cancer.
The FDA has called for the popular over-the-counter heartburn medication Zantac to be pulled from the market. If you were diagnosed with cancer and were a daily user of Zantac, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now. Zantac may have caused your cancer, and you may be entitled to compensation for what you've been through.
If your loved one was a daily user of the heartburn medication Zantac and were then diagnosed with cancer, call us right now. You may be entitled to substantial compensation.
If you were diagnosed with stomach, bladder, kidney, pancreatic, colon, or any type of cancer after using Zantac, call the Goldwater Law Firm. You may qualify for a cash award.
Call 1-800-932-1148. That's 1-800-932-1148. 1-800-932-1148.
And introducing his opponent, being accompanied to the ring by Ray Rosas from Avocado Heights, California, weighing in at 205 pounds, Uptown Andy Brown.
As of late, Andy Brown and Ray Rosas have been thick as thieves, and that's fitting because they've been stealing victories.
Stealing victories. You call it stealing, Kenley. I call it absolute persistence in your dreams. And that man right there, Andy Brown, is going in there right now to seal his fate, get one step further, go all the way to that PP3 Cup victory, Kenley. I can't wait for this one.
Such a different demeanor in Andy Brown, just so shocking, used to be so fun-loving, energetic.
You saw where that get him. You saw where that got him, Kennelly.
It got him to the Hollywood Heritage Championship. It got him to winning the Red Carpet Rumble.
There's only so much a man can gain. When he loses it all, he'll snap. And that's exactly what happened to Andy Brown. Andy Brown is no longer a company man. He's in there to go into business for himself. And under the tutelage of Ray Rosas, I guarantee he's going to go all the way.
Neon Phenomenon, Anthony Idol taking on the malcontent in Andy Brown. Andy Brown, a lot of championship history on this program.
What are they saying? They're saying something about Andy Brown. See, look, the fans love him.
Well, he seems unfazed by the adulation, if that is what it is. But Idol not without his support as well. Neon Phenomenon trying to ride that wave of momentum and stalling tactics early by Andy Brown.
Stalling tactics, you call it what you want. As a matter of fact, Andy Brown's not going to get in there until Andy Brown wants to get in there. It's a very clear message to Idol. This is his match. It's his rules. He will go in there and do what look, see right there. He's making his move. Making a move. Boom, like I told you, Kennelly. Right in there to start the match hot like Brown wanted to. Here we go, Andy Brown. Seal your victory, buddy.
Yeah, making a move from behind after the distraction by Ray Rosas. These two a formidable duo, but this is supposed to be a one-on-one contest. Again, fans, we've got to remind you that this is a PP3 semifinal matchup. The winner of this will go on to the finals. Blatant choke here by Andy Brown. We thank and welcome everybody watching Championship Wrestling presented by West Coast Pro Wrestling for the first time on ABC 7 San Francisco. KGO, look at this, spine buster. That's right out of the playbook of Andy Brown. And now grabbing the leg from the outside. Idol would have had momentum in this matchup. Clipping the knee now is Andy Brown. This is wrong.
This is Idol's fault, is what it is. Think about this, Kennelly. If you want to win that cup, you want to cash it in for the gold, or whatever championship you want to cash it in for, you have to have the wherewithal to keep your championship around your waist. And it's somebody like Idol who makes stupid mistakes like that in a semi-qualifying match is nowhere near ready to hold that belt, Kennelly.
Semi-final match with a place at the table on the line. Crowd now behind Idol after the questionable tactics there, as Ray Rosas has cast a big shadow on the outside. Andy Brown very powerful, but I don't know if he's powerful enough to take the big man up and over with the suplex. Transitions to strikes, calls the audible.
I don't know about calling the audible. He had that in mind the whole time. He said, let's throw Idol off his game. Let's make him think he's going in for a suplex and then give him this shot right to the head. And continuing to work to the head now. Oh, but you know what? But Anthony Idol. Now you want to talk about a playbook out of Andy Brown's book? Look at the elbows by Anthony Idol to Andy Brown right now. Absolute garbage.
And now more distraction on the outside coming to his aid. Anthony Idol was going for a big running power slam that could have punched his ticket to the finals, and saved by Ray Rosas.
I'll tell you what was happening. Anthony Idol was about to walk back.
What? You want to talk about throwing? The referee's going to throw Rosas right out of here.
That is garbage. What has Ray Rosas done to you, ref? What has he done to you?
Idol brings in Andy Brown the hard way, and finally we've got a one-on-one affair, much to the chagrin of Andy Brown.
This is absolute trash. Anthony Idol now taking advantage. There you go. Slap him in the face for good measure. Taking advantage of the stupid decision made by the referee to get Ray Rosas out of here. Oh, my God.
What a choke slam by the Neon Phenomenon. Maybe call him the Neon Phenom after that.
I am not at all concerned. Andy Brown has him right where he wants him, Kennelly. You'll see he's going to pull through this and go all the way to the end, just like I predicted, Kennelly.
Oh, looks like it's going to be the Idol overdrive. If he can hit it, he does. Center of the ring, is that going to do it? Indeed.
No!
Wow.
Here is your winner, advancing to the finals of the PP3 Cup, Anthony Idol.
Anthony Idol gets the victory. We take a look back at the action brought to you by the PP3 Blockbuster, coming your way February 23rd. And that's fitting because Anthony Idol makes his way to the finals. Let's look at it here. The outside interference by Ray Rosas, ejected by the official.
Garbage.
And then Idol hits the Idol overdrive, and he's in overdrive to the finals. Our own David Marquez standing by.
Ask him why he's a cheater.
Okay, friend, standing by here. Anthony Idol, you just advanced to the finals. What's going on in your mind?
I tell you what, I got one thing on my mind, and it's that big PP3 cup. And I got a message for you, Mr. I Don't Care, Ray Rosas. I care. I care big time. And I show you how much I care. When I get my hands around your scrawny neck, Ray Rosas, I'm gonna break you in half, man. Because I'm gonna be the dude that makes Percy say, oh yeah, one more time, baby.
All right, Anthony Idol, ladies and gentlemen, moving on the PP3 Cup, and we'll be back right after this.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, this may be the most important phone call you'll ever make.
I owed $87,000 in taxes. But listen.
Your tax problem is settled. You only owe $3,500.
What a great message.
I owed $11,000 on my taxes. But now?
Congratulations. You only owe $2,068.
How's that sound?
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, then you owe it to yourself to call this number or go to tax10000.com. Even if you are already at the point where you're struggling with levies and garnishments, let our experts help guide you through the process of negotiating a tax settlement.
We owed the IRS $48,000.
But check out what we actually paid.
Are you sitting down? You only owe $3,571.
Call 800-921-1504 or go to tax10000.com. That's 800-921-1504.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now to give you deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but also my mattress toppers, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regularly $89.99, only $29.99 with your promo code. With our 60-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Sleep well, America!
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Health Markets compares your current plan with thousands of options nationwide from national insurance companies.
That's why I love Health Markets, your insurance marketplace. They guarantee you won't find a lower price anywhere for the plans they offer.
In minutes, you can find out if your current plan is the right fit, or if there's another one that can get you extra coverage or help save you money. The Health Markets Fit Score makes it easy to find the right plan for you.
Call now to find out how you can take advantage of this free service. Representatives are standing by to assist you.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, at a combined weight of 349 pounds, Adriel Noctis and Sketch Wasted Youth.
Switching gears to tag team action. A team that was really rising through the ranks, including an impressive shot at the tag team titles until they ran into a roadblock in a big way with the Wolves Daddies. They get a rematch against the dominant team right now.
Good luck, social degenerate nerds.
And introducing their opponents from Meat Mountain at a combined weight of 445 pounds, Latino Meat, Che Cabrera, and Bad Dude Tino, the Wolves Daddies.
Wolves Daddies were impressive in victory ever since erupting back on the scene here. Had a victory over the Classic Connection, victory over Wasted Youth, but a rematch here. Wasted Youth did what they could to stick and move. We'll see if they went back to the playbook, if they've got an answer for the unmitigated power possessed by the Wolf Zaddies.
Well, the Wasted Youth definitely have to pull in a new trick up their sleeve. Something that the Wolf Zaddies hasn't seen yet. That's the only way they're going to be able to capitalize on this team. The Wolf Zaddies, there's nobody to be messed around with. And someone like Sketch, I mean, the man's got to be, $125 soaking wet. Has absolutely no chance in there right now with Tito. Unless he does something like that, of course, being a degenerate and pushing him from behind.
Trying to raise the ire of the big man. That might be a losing proposition. But nice escape early by Sketch, the skate park scumbag, as he refers to himself. Nothing fancy about that right hand by Tito. Tito, former Hollywood Heritage champion. Red carpet Rumble winner. He's really done it all.
These Sketch is trying to do something real fancy there with Tito, and Tito just did not fall for that. Very, very smart wrestler is Tito. Just punishing Sketch right now.
Shot after shot here, forearms and chops aplenty, being served up by the bad dude. Exploder suplex, and you can see the agony etched on the face of the youngster. And they are in trouble in a hurry. Tag made to Latino Meat. Shea Cabrera comes in with the senton. Talk about making an entrance into the cover now. Looking to put him away, only a count of 2. There's been some dominant teams in the history of this program, Jacek. I think of the likes of the Reno Scum, the Tribe, Natural Selection.
Anchors away.
This team, yeah, sure. This team might take the cake when it comes to physicality. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker there by Cabrera.
Cabrera has teamed with others. Tito has teamed with others. To find each other in such a dominating fashion is very, very bad news for their opponents. And speaking of which, right there,
from bad news to bad dude, and Tito comes in again looking for the cover.
Absolutely. Tito is stalking his prey. That's what he does. Cabrera does the exact same thing. And I will first admit that Cabrera was foolish for doing what he did with Watts, putting the mask on the line as Rogelio and leaving the company of Howdy Price. But I'll tell you that Tito has definitely saved his hide. That's absolute evident right now as they punish Noctis just like they did with Sketch.
More double teaming. And when you have those two, it's more like a triple or quadruple team when you factor in the power, the size, into the cover, count of 2 again. Little something extra there, grinding the forearm on the cover. That looks like something out of your old playbook, Jacek.
I have a lot of plays, Kelly. I'm not done yet. I might just look a little bit chunky, but there's 180 pounds of muscle behind this 260-pound frame.
Bull Nelson into the rear naked choke and now tying him up. He's got the arm seized in there as well. Look at this. Oh, into a stunner. You got to really go deep into the playbook to try and take the big man down, and they do. So we talked about changing up strategy. We're seeing what they came up with.
That's something I haven't seen them do before or anybody has done before. Honestly, that's brand new, and that definitely caught Che by surprise. Caught this audience by surprise, too.
Might have been doing a little video gaming to come up with that. Unique offense. Flying knee by Adriel Noctis. Sketch closes the gap in a hurry, and they're going to have to double team to be effective, but dividing and trying to conquer right now is the bad dude. Look at this, using Sketch as a weapon into the bad dude driver.
Very, very scary it is for Sketch.
I could do it. I could do it. Look out here. Sketch finds a way to kick out.
It's very smart tag team wrestling. When you do everything you can to take out somebody's partner, that's their backbone, that's their support system. If you take that away, you have a 2-on-1 match. Absolute deadly for the opponent.
And now we see the strength on display by the bad dude. The blood running to the head of Sketch. That's going to take your equilibrium away in a hurry. Not going to see any ollies, kick flips, or tricks after that. And Tito, we talked about his championship history. He was at one time a dominant member of the feared faction Vermin as well. Or was it, Tito? Or a reasonable facsimile, or a clone. There's just been more questions than answers with Vermin.
And we've seen Mr. Yuma try to reach out to Tito very, very recently and try to get the gang back together, and Tito doesn't seem to be having any of it. And right now, it doesn't look like he needs it as they come in with this. That is nasty.
Tito has not gone along with that recruitment. Into the cover now goes Latino Meat. Comes up with the count of 2.
Now, I wish I could be in a good mood for this match, but I'll tell you something. We saw it. You and I saw it clear as day, Kennelly, that Andy Brown got robbed. You see he got robbed. He's no longer in the PP3 because Sheldon Cooper wanted to make a stupid decision.
Ooh. Power slam, hold on. Cover now. by Cabrera, looking to put this thing away. Are you kidding me? He got robbed. Why? Because his outside interference from his partner had to fly the coop when the referee kicked him out.
I'll tell you this.
Made it a fair fight, and Idol quickly disposed of Andy Brown. Is that what you're talking about? Because that's the way I saw it.
That's the way you saw it because you're blind, Kennedy. The fact of the matter is that Andy Brown, or that Anthony Idol was about to chuck Andy Brown over the top rope and get disqualified. Ray Rosas did him a favor. Oh, look at this now.
A lot of agility, but not enough body weight to take down the big man. Look at this, looking for the painted black. It's put a lot of people away, but round and round they go, and down goes Tito, courtesy of that big tornado DDT.
Not a lot's going to take Tito down, but if you take somebody that's about 125 pounds, that's what I guess about the sketch, maybe 115. You take all that weight, you put it down on your neck, and you drive it down on the mat, Tito's definitely going to follow unless he wants to get decapitated. Tito now is in trouble, but Sketch right now making the tag. This might be it.
Tag made on both sides. Cabrera checks in as well. In there with a fresh Adriel Noctis, who is I don't know if I'd want to get in a striking war with Cabrera, but right now looking good. Caught him in the back, caught him in that brainstem. Into the cover. Really rocked the big man and trying to keep that full court press going here.
Again now, double team, social degenerate nerds going in for the double team. Sketch is now going to try to take advantage of this with Adriel Noctis, finishing him off here, but this is not going to work with someone like Cabrera.
Little spring off the shoulders, and now they're sizing up the big man. They're looking for that proving ground knee. This is what rocketed these two up the tag team ranks. Nobody home. In comes Tito. Oh my goodness, what a collision in the center of the ring. Wolf Zaddy's now in control. Double forearm shot.
High risk, high reward sounds awesome if you get that reward, but as soon as you do not make that reward, then everything comes crashing down. And speaking of which, this could be the end for Noctis.
Oh, it comes crashing down, and it sure as hell hurts inside. The satisfaction for the win.
Here are your winners, the Wolf Zaddies.
Wolf Zaddies, I got to give it to them. They're very, very impressive. Oh, look, it's my buddy. Mr. Yuma is here. Could we be seeing the reformation, Kennedy? This is it. This is where it all started. History's about to be made.
Well, for the sake of everyone, I certainly hope not, as Tito was a dominant keystone in Vermin, walks right past Yuma.
Are you or a loved one between the ages of 50 to 80 years old? If you are younger than 80 years old, do you receive Social Security, disability, or Medicare? If you answered yes, you may qualify for $30,000 in funeral insurance for only pennies a day. The average funeral costs around $11,000, and Social Security only pays $255, leaving your loved ones to pay the balance. Call now to see if you qualify for $30,000 in funeral expense coverage from Senior Legacy Life. Your rate will never increase, your benefits will never decrease, and there is no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing disease or illness. Don't be a financial burden to your family. Lock in your rate by completing an application over the phone right now. Will you qualify for funeral insurance up to $30,000 for only pennies a day? Find out for free by calling Senior Legacy Life.
Call 1-800-928-5049. That's 1-800-928-5049. 1-800-928-5049.
Do you use Viagra or Cialis? Have you been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 or more a pill for Viagra, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. Stop overpaying for expensive prescriptions. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call now and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for Viagra. Call us anytime, day or night, and start saving big money for the exact same results. Have your credit card ready. Ordering is fast and easy, with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. Call now.
If you're like 58% of Americans, you never went to college. Or you did, but never finished. Why?
It was just a hassle going back and forth to campus.
At Independence University, all classes are online. No driving to campus.
No one at the college even knew my name.
At Independence U, you'll get a personal support team, and they'll all know your name.
Too many extra costs like books, fees, parking.
We don't have extra costs. We even give you a new laptop and tablet to keep when you graduate.
I couldn't fit my schedule around classes.
At Independence U, college fits your schedule.
4+ years to get a degree?
With us, you could finish in 3.
At a typical college, no one cares.
Caring about students is what we do best.
Independence University held my hand through the process.
Don't be afraid to take the leap because it has changed my life drastically. If I did it, you can do it too.
Independence U is designed for busy adults like you.
1-800-280-4118. 1-800-280-4118.
Okay, fans, welcome back to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Standing by here with Ray Rosas. Don't look at me like that. We've known each other too long for those types of looks.
I mean, you know of me, Dave. I mean, we've worked together, but I don't think you've really got to know me.
Well, I don't think that's my problem. I think, regardless, the PP3 Cup, the tournament is so on its way. You're on your way to winning it?
I guess. I don't care. I mean, I don't even really want the cup.
Everybody wants the cup.
No, you know what? You put that cup in front of everybody and you make them jump. It's like a hamster on a wheel. This is false sense of accomplishment you give everybody. I've been following you. I've been drinking that Kool-Aid for way too long, and I'm finally woke. And I'm going to take that cup. I'm going to throw it in the trash because it's not the cup. It's what it represents, and that's a title shot. And what am I going to do? Take on Eric Watts. That's the end game. That's the guy to beat. That's the guy to finally get the...
Hang on, Eric Watts.
You realize that I'm standing right over there and I can hear everything you're saying, right?
Yeah, I'm well aware.
Okay, good. Well, I'm here. You're here. You want more TV time. How about this? How about you go find a partner, I'll get a partner, and we'll do this thing. What do you say, Ray?
What do you say, Ray?
Well, I gotta...
What do you say, Ray?
Well, I gotta go find a partner, so you hang tight, and I'm gonna go find me a partner. Hey, you wanna be my partner?
I'm hanging real tight,
We'll
Ray.
find out. Ray Rose is going to get a partner. Challenge has been thrown down. Coming up next, Dan Joseph, our TV champion.
Howdy! That's right. All right, now, Levi, we've had some bumps on the road. We've had our zigs and zags. Okay, y'all want buddies, but the looks of y'all, you can never get any friends. I can tell that. Now, Levi, over those hills that we've been through, there is gold, and I want you to get it. Now get into that lovely little ring and bring on home some championship gold to the Price Check Ranch.
There you have it, the task at hand. Bring the gold back to the Price Check Ranch. And Levi Shapiro, 21st Century Old School, has the tools to do it.
Absolutely, that's the man to do it. Here we go, baby. New champion right now.
And there you see the brand new United Television champion. He's come a long way since his days in Footloose, but his feet were loose, his fists were loose, and he was on the loose in our main event last week when he defeated Royce Isaacs for the coveted championship.
And that's fine and dandy. You know what? Look, everybody has their day. Dan Joseph, you might have got lucky one time, but if you think you're going to hold that onto that for very long, you are absolutely sadly mistaken. I'm predicting it right now, Kennelly. The shortest title reign in championship wrestling history happens right now in front of our eyes.
Remains to be seen. Dan Joseph has the Ocean View Pavilion worked up into a frenzy. Here to set the stage for our title main event, ring announcer Adnan Qureshi.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the United Television Championship. Introducing first the challenger, being accompanied to the ring by Howdy Price. From Richmond, California, weighing in at 215 pounds, Timeless Levi Shapiro. And introducing the champion, from Buffalo, New York, weighing in at 203 pounds, he is the United Television Champion, Dan Joseph!
Dan Joseph, you gotta love the energy. It's infectious, fun-loving, putting his title on the line, fighting champion. Won the title just last week. Go get him, champ.
I hate him so much. I hate him so. I hate you too. This whole little friendship you guys got going on is so annoying. And you say infectious, I say obnoxious is what it is.
Lighthearted champion Dan Joseph, but you got to be serious when you're in there with Levi Shapiro. Shapiro's no nonsense. He's hard-nosed. He's tough as nails. He's rudimentary. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
And Levi Shapiro is coming off already a very, very bad attitude. As you saw what he did to his own tag partner, the man is going to go in. He's going to make a name for himself under the tutelage of Howdy Price. It's obvious that Howdy Price has already picked his favorite.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. Howdy Price had clearly recruited the Classic Connection as a tag team. Tag team wrestling was kind of the name of the game for Howdy Price. He had the Rancheros and then had the Classic Connection, but that ended in a bad way, at least it would seem. Levi Shapiro got hot under the collar as the champ goes for a ride here, spinning out and having some fun with the challenger.
Absolutely obnoxious. That's what I'm talking about, that obnoxious behavior of Dan Joseph. That is not characteristic of a champion at all, Kennelly.
Shapiro, so aggressive, big scoop and a slam. Adrenaline running hot and heavy through the veins of the champion into the cover. Close call there for Levi Shapiro, who is getting turned inside out in the early going. Now the recipient of a nice arm drag, isolating the arm as the champ.
Are we broadcasting in Florida? It looks like a Gators uniform that Dan Joseph is wearing. That is obnoxious too. These people, you, Dan Joseph, so much obnoxicity is going on. Is that a word? Obnoxicity?
Sure, let's go with that.
Dan Joseph now putting the knee on the face of Shapiro. Is that even legal, Kennelly?
That's right out of the Shapiro playbook, that's for sure. But again, to go back to the recent actions of Shapiro, just breaking down, attacking his own partner, Buddy Royal, and locking on that dreaded Iron Claw on a man that he traveled the roads with, he trained with, he wrestled with. These guys were an established team for a long time, talking about the Classic Connection, and seemingly throwing it right out the window. What, for this? For a shot at the television title?
That could be all that. You know what? This is for all the marbles, Kennelly. This is the peak. This is the pinnacle of the mountain. Is what this is, Kennelly. Absolutely. For a championship, I'd do anything to my best friend. I'd step on my own mother for a shot of that belt. Shapiro is not wrong here.
Look at this. Look at
stupidly
this.
tripping on the bottom rope there.
No, not at all. It was Howdy Price on the outside, tripped up and distracted Dan Joseph. And now look at the roughneck tactics here by Shapiro. The challenger in control. Our main event continues after this.
Has your AC busted, computer crashed, appliance broken? Then you need ARW, American Residential Warranty.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing, because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty. Home appliance repairs and replacement can cause stress and cost you over $3,000 per year. But ARW has home warranty plans starting at less than $1 a day.
My air conditioning broke on a Sunday. It was so hot, I called ARW and they came out and fixed it right away.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more. All plans are fully customizable and come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get a home security system free with any plan. Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
Call to find out which home warranty plan is right for you.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, this may be the most important phone call you'll ever make.
I owed $87,000 in taxes. But listen.
Your tax problem is settled. You only owe $3,500.
What a great message.
I owed $11,000 on my taxes, but now...
Congratulations. You only owe $2,068.
How's that sound?
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, then you owe it to yourself to call this number or go to tax10,000.com. Even if you are already at the point where you're struggling with levies and garnishments, let our experts help guide you through the process of negotiating a tax settlement.
We owed the IRS $48,000.
But check out what we actually paid.
Are you sitting down? You only owe $3,571.
Call 800-921-1504 or go to text10000.com. That's 800-921-1504.
Welcome, everybody, to our United Television Championship main event. And right before the break, we saw it. Howdy Price got involved and more extracurricular from the big man on the outside.
I want to pick on something you said, Kennelly, before the break. You were talking about how somebody betrayed his own tag team partner. Do you understand that the motto of the Howdy Price family is do not cross the family?
Cover here.
Don't make stupid mistakes. Don't put things against the line that you can't back up. Buddy Royal made a stupid mistake and cost Shapiro the match. And it's obvious that Che Cabrera made a stupid mistake, cost himself the match. You know what? Howdy Price is very, very smart. He weeds out the old. I wouldn't be surprised if he was in Shapiro's ear the entire time and saying, if he screws up, you take care of him. That's exactly what's happening. And he's leading Shapiro all the way to victory as we see a new, brand new champion.
Remains to be seen. As long as Dan Joseph has an ounce of blood left in that body, he will fight with everything he has. He'll fight for his family. Finally reaches the pinnacle. What a bulldog out of nowhere there by Levi Shapiro. That was quick. It was decisive. Rolls the champion over into the pin, looking to put him away. That was close.
You want to talk about speed and tenacity. Nobody saw that coming, especially Dan Joseph came right from behind him, face planted right on the mat, and you can only do so much when your brains are scrambled to keep that belt around your waist. And Dan Joseph right now is in a heck of a lot of trouble.
You can speak on this as a former in-ring competitor. They always say it's that shot that you don't see that really catches you, rings your bell. And that looked to be the case for the champion.
You can only do so much to protect yourself. Being a professional athlete, as hard as it is, but when you take shots in the back of the head, or if you take shots coming from the back of the head, going to the front of the head, everything that you have in that brain is protected, and it suddenly gets compromised is going to be very, very bad news for you. As evidence right now, because this happy-go-lucky, everybody loves Dan Joseph attitude is starting to fade away, starting to go in the weeds as Dan Joseph seals his fate as tonight's loser.
Shut down again by that knee there by Levi Shapiro, trying to hang the champion out to dry. Little snake eyes, looking for the claw, but the champion has 2-on-1 wrist control, and it's taken every ounce of strength to nullify that claw and keep it away from his cranium.
Shapiro cut him a break right there. If he put that claw on, as soon as he kicked Dan Joseph in the gut, if he reapplied that claw, Dan Joseph would have been in so much trouble. It's not even funny. We saw the pain in Buddy Royal's face. We saw what that man could do with that move, and Dan Joseph is not going to hold on to that championship if that claw is applied. Guarantee you that, Kennelly.
On Shapiro, Levi Shapiro, when he gets that claw on, it truly is a death grip. He gets that thing locked in hard and heavy. It took a slew of officials and all kinds of bodies to get him off of his partner, or at least partner at the time, Buddy Royal, and now trying to sap the strength, take the starch out of the champion. What a hellacious title defense Dan Joseph finds himself in our main event. Trying to bull rush the challenger into the corner, breaks the hold. Step one, we'll see if Dan Joseph can do anything to capitalize offensively. Nobody home there.
And that desperation, in the heat of that desperation, you're going to bound to be making mistakes. That's exactly what's happening. Dan Joseph, again, leaving him open for that claw. Everybody looks past the claw. Nobody uses the claw in wrestling anymore, but you know what? It's a very, very deadly, powerful move. Very important. People have won using that move. I can think of the Colorado Kid, Mike Rapata, as the champion of NWA, used that move all the time, and to make sure that he sealed his fate as one of the greatest in NWA. You know it, and I know it, Kennelly. The Colorado Kid is now bleeding through Levi Shapiro.
Well, others as well.
There it is!
He's got it in. Championship might be changing hands here in the Ocean View Pavilion. Dan Joseph, he's trying to get to the high ground. He breaks it. He was able to break the hold into the DDT. What a counter by the champ.
Very, very lucky is what that was, Kennelly. A few seconds away. But you know what? That claw might have inflicted a lot more damage than Dan Joseph would like to admit. Look at him holding his brains. Look at him holding his head. He's obviously suffered some sort of an injury because of that. Levi Shapiro is breaking the man down just a few seconds away from possibly crowning a new champion right now.
Come up for air, Andrew Jasik, as who wants it more at this point? Who's going to get back to their feet? And Dan Joseph has the crowd, but you're right. Likes of Baron von Raschke in the past, Keller Kowalski, Kerry Von Erich have utilized that claw, but maybe not as dangerously as Shapiro has perfected it. Look at this, Dragon Sleeper rolls through. Impressive, wow, where did that come from? Champion looking to retain, no, not enough, not yet.
Look at the look on Howdy Price's face. He almost lost it, Kennelly. He almost lost it. Damn near had a heart attack. And Dan Joseph now trying to finish off the job. Good luck, Dan Joseph. You're going to need a lot to counter Levi Shapiro.
I think he was looking for that long way down after the champ was on a real roll, literally. Look at this, beautifully into a torture rack here by Shapiro. Dead center of the ring, and he might have the champ dead to rights. Quick title reign coming to an end.
3.
No! Not yet. He's still got some fight left.
Dan Joseph pulling every single thing he can to battle against this ruthless young individual. And is so far, as long as the crowd is behind him, he's going to be able to do that. But he has to capitalize on this first.
Trying to close the gap, nobody home. Dan Joseph, the champ, he loves that. Flying clothesline. Runs into the discus punch. And that's been a setup for the claw in the past, but Levi Shapiro looking for a bulldog again, drives the champ down. Champion did not see it coming. What a match, back and forth, seesaw for the television title.
This is what championship wrestling is all about, the pivotal, the absolute anarchy, the craziness that is this. And speaking of which, we are now looking at the claw, the beginning of the end for Dan Joseph.
I don't think Dan Joseph can fight it off this time. Wait a minute, that's Buddy Royal. That's Buddy Royal. Whoa, what a time to exact some revenge.
What is he in there for? He has no business being in this match.
Getting his hands all over Levi Shapiro, now being forced back by the official.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner via disqualification, Levi Shapiro. However, still your United Television champion, Dan Joseph.
Dan Joseph is celebrating because he's still the champion. He lost by disqualification, but now this, hold on, look at, boy, this sure seems familiar. Big smile on the kisser of the champion. He is still the champion, but Buddy Royal all over Levi Shapiro.
Dan Joseph, disgusting how he's celebrating right now with all this chaos going in. Get Buddy Royal out of that ring. Get that idiot out of the ring too while you're at it.
Well, you said there was anarchy. Incredible. What a wild way to end this main event, and certainly this issue not over. The classic connection exploding.
Well, hard luck for my broadcast partner, Levi Shapiro. He did not leave with that United Wrestling Network Television Championship. And that is going to do it for this edition of Championship Wrestling presented by West Coast Pro Wrestling. We appreciate you tuning in, but come on back again next week, and we will go back into the archives for another action-packed episode of Championship Wrestling. And until then, on behalf of my broadcast partner, Levi Shapiro, and everyone here at the United Wrestling Network, just want to say continue to stay safe, stay at home, wash those hands, and most importantly, continue to be good to one another. I know it's cliche, but it really is the most important thing you can do. Everybody is fighting a hard battle and dealing with this in their own way. So be good to one another in your communities. We will get through this together. And until next week, thank you so much for watching, wrestling fans.
The proceeding has been a presentation of the United Wrestling Network.